will be video mix 158. Vanos Enigma video mix 158. I've saved already several voice recordings, but I want to upload this one first because I want to make a little exception and translate this one into German too and Spanish. Anyway, on my YouTube channel Vanos Enigma Español, some of the things I've said already in my previous videos, but I want to create a summary, especially for the German translation. In April 2016, I learned something watching YouTube videos I wish I had known a long time before, because I think I would have suffered much less from depression. But before I talk about what I learned, I want to go back in the time of my life. My mom told me that already at the age of 3, she noticed that I didn't want to wear any skirt. I just wanted to wear trousers. I only played with cars and not with dolls or Barbies. And at the age of 5, I cut myself the hair. At the age of 10, more or less, an obsession with the body started. I really didn't want to convert into a fat woman. So at the age about 12, I fell into anorexia. It was really very dangerous. I almost died. I was so very thin. I think I might have grown taller, but at the age, at that age, it's a very there are many bad consequences of having anorexia at that age, when you really need the nutrition for the body. So all my body and development was some kind of paralyzed. My period, menstruation, didn't come almost till 18, 19, and my hands and feet are still, now I'm over 40, very, I can win weight, but it's like only bones and skin. There is no fat cells. So that has the consequence that I have always suffering always from cold feet and hand, and feet is always worse. Maybe then you get sweat a little, but then you would need to change the socks, because then it gets cold, and if you have the cold socks and long time, it's so in the end I often suffer from chronic throat disease, throat infection, and of course the mood. You know, I think you know yourself, cold hands and feet, you don't feel comfortable. So before 18 or 19, when my period finally started, before I was always some kind of isolated. I was really different from the other children in the school, and of course always wearing trousers, but I didn't think so much about this gender problem. So from the age of 18 or 19, then I started slowly to wear a little bit more female clothes, but yeah, actually just because I liked boys, and I had my first boyfriend at the age of 18. But I was never very happy with my body, especially with my breasts. So at the age of 27, actually I wanted to be more flat, but I was not thinking about the that there's a possibility to change the sex. So they convinced me to put implants. So I got that big boobs implants. So now I'm a little over 40, and sometimes I had some little problems with these implants, and actually I was often afraid if I have to do another surgery. And I've got 2 spots on my breast. Long time I thought, oh, maybe it's skin cancer, but I was often feeling very depressed and asked myself, how would I react if they tell me you have cancer? And as I really was now many years very depressed, I told myself, anyway, I feel like I want to fall asleep and not wake up again. I didn't go to the doctor a long time, but now finally some weeks ago I went, and she said it does not seem like cancer, but anyway I feel a little that at least I need to observe that. And I never saw myself as mother with children. I always thought I want to be self-employed and not financially dependent on any man. And all my life I was very afraid to get pregnant or any sexual disease. And although for these many years now I've been living on my own and almost no relationship at all, although I've been taking now more than 20 years the pill, but now I stopped because I got to know that it lowers testosterone in body of women much more, so that has the consequence that older women feel even less sex drive, libido, and that's really true. These last almost like 10 years I feel like with my sex drive under the basement, and that has the consequence that you feel more depressed and without motivation. And that's the reason why many relationships break up, when the women lose their sex drive. By the way, testosterone is a secret female hormone. Of course, the primary is estrogen. And I want to say men normally have some more or less 7 times more testosterone than women. And what I found very interesting is that testosterone in high doses in women has the effect that the period stops, the menstruation. And now, many years, I'm hiding behind the profile picture of a cat, and I said, like, my cat ears went like, cling! Oh, this is very interesting, because that's exactly what I want. But maybe the most important effect I'm interested in is that the blood circulation will be better. Even the hands and feet might grow a little, not the body in length, but and of course more muscles. But for me personally, this seems very positive, because especially if it's colder, I'm always suffering very much from these cold hands and feet and bad blood circulation. I watched many videos about FTM, which is abbreviation for female to male, and many tell that they feel much warmer. Oh, sweating. And they tell another very positive effect. Many suffering from depression like me, and always crying, and they say after starting the testosterone, they are psychologically much more strong and don't cry almost no more. And this is exactly I'm suffering from this too. I often feel like crying without reason, and actually my last job with contract, I stopped more or less voluntarily, but it was in a moment when I got that feeling of crying again, and this was really awkward. But I said a different excuse, but actually this was depression. And watching more videos about the people FTM, they talk about the top surgery, mastectomy. I want to do that too sooner or later. I have these 4 reasons. First, and the family, I have several cases of breast cancer, and anyway, I do not want to keep the nipples. I never liked that somebody touched my nipples, and I've got these 2 spots which look like skin cancer, and they would get removed too, because it's just by the way. Third reason, my fear that there might be something wrong with these implants, the breast implants. And the 4th reason, the harmony of the male body. But first, of course, I want to start the testosterone treatment. And as a consequence of the depression these last years, I was always hiding alone at home behind the computer, and I got very allergic against men spying on me when I go home. So anyway, I almost never go out at night, and very allergic that, okay, now a long time not, but before men coming to the door and start screaming and banging on the door. I forgot to say, coming without invitation, and just anyway, I always have off my bell, and I think I feel much more comfortable with the appearance of a man, and I don't want to stay for the rest of my life always only hiding, and it feels really like get to sleep and not wake up again, and so many other things I've got on my to-do list. I wanted to have them done already long time ago, but somehow I feel some kind of like paralyzed, or maybe lazy, but like without motivation. By the way, already many years I'm using the name Vanus, or Vanus Enigma, on internet, which is actually unisex, that name. And already 3 years ago, for some time, I had that hashtag transgender in my Twitter profile. And I got conscious about that word androgyny, and waiting for permission at the moment to include that word in the title of my YouTube channel. At the moment I've got Vanus Enigma Video Mix FTM, which is abbreviation for female to male, but I want to replace it by the same Vanus Enigma Video Mix, and in the end androgyny, because I think I like to dress up sometimes like a drag queen. Anyway, I've got so much experience in being a woman with a period, and make some comedy. A drag queen in front of the camera, and when I go outside in the street, the man. And what I wanted to say, I care much more how I feel in my skin than how other people feel when they look at me. Of course, there are some negative sides of the testosterone. For example, normally you have to make an injection every week, or it's better every week than 2 weeks, because the level goes too much down and up and down. Okay, there is cream too, but it's much more expensive. And the cream, you have to apply it every day after the shower. And some FTMs make sometimes a break because they are afraid to lose too many hairs on the head. But this is no problem to me, because anyway I always like to hide under the cap. There's just one really thing I'm afraid of. It's acne. The skin problems, especially in the face, is annoying, but All the advantages are, I want to say, there are much more advantages for me, and stronger advantages than that problem with acne. And for some it's only some time, and then it might get better, because especially FTMs, which are anyway in time of puberty, it's very normal. And in these last years I got a little allergic against just talking about problem of depression, because a friend of my mother said something like, if you don't do this and that, and a long story short, that the state would confiscate my property and declare that I'm not able to defend my property. Another reason for the top surgery is that on the streets there's much discrimination, hate and violence, and often people, especially MTF, male to female, get beaten up if they look rather female but still male. This is really sad but true, and this is almost more important than just say the optical harmony of the body. It's the fear of getting beaten up. In the end, everybody stays at home, and only men are allowed to go out. Especially for the German translation. In April 2016 I learned something watching YouTube videos I wish I had known a long time before, because I think I would have suffered a lot. I just wanted to wear trousers. I only played with cars and not with dolls or Barbies. And at the age of 5, I cut myself the hair. At the age of 10, more or less, an obsession with the body started. First, because I want to make a little exception and translate this one into German too, and Spanish anyway. On my YouTube channel Anorexia Español. Some of the things I've said already in my previous videos, but I want to create a summary. So this will be video mix 158. Anorexia video mix 158. I've saved already several voice recordings, but I want to upload this one much less from depression. But before I talk about what I learned, I want to go back in the time of my life. My mom told me that already at the age of 3, she noticed that I didn't want to wear any skirt.